afternoon from the IMG Academy here in Bradenton, Florida. It's the USA Spring Premiere as the U.S. Women's National Team takes on the University of Florida. I'm Bruce Wozniak. Joined alongside me is Melissa Coyne, here to call a fine afternoon, a sunny Florida afternoon of women's lacrosse.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of our viewers in the Northeast aren't enjoying this same kind of weather, so lucky down here to have a beautiful day. Should be a great game.
Glad to have you from wherever you are watching us from, whether it be here in the Sunshine State or elsewhere, as these two teams in their huddles on their respective sidelines. And Melissa, this is a friendly, if you will, but at the same time there is still a good deal at stake, even more so for USA than Florida. Florida will play their first game in a few weeks, but for Team USA in particular, coaches are using this as an opportunity to really look over this roster.
The very last chance to make this World Cup roster. So these girls have come a long way. These women have come a long way since last year. They're now down to 25, and at the end of this weekend, coaches have a very difficult decision to pick 18 to go to the World Cup plus 2 alternates.
And this has been a long road for them to get to this stage. They started a year ago with, the number was 40 at the time, and have really gone through some steps since then to get down to where they are here today.
Right, a full invite trial over 100 came in August after this event last year. They whittled that down to a training event in September and October at 36, and then brought the final 25 here.
And I should mention this event, called the Spring Premiere, has actually been around for quite a while, probably more than 10 years, has been known under a few different titles, this year being called the U.S. Spring Premiere as it was last year. And again, this is a 4-game event that will take place here this weekend. These two teams will play again later today, and then tomorrow we have the U.S. women's team taking on Notre Dame and the men's team taking on Notre Dame as well. As the teams come out on the field now, U.S. Lacrosse is thankful for the generous support of our Team USA sponsors, including Nike Lacrosse, the official apparel and footwear supplier for the men's and women's national teams. Our national partners, Greenfields, Nationwide, Sports Force Parks, and SweatX. And our U.S. women's team equipment sponsors, Brine, SISU Mouthguards, STX, and Under Armour. Their support has helped make today's web stream possible. And just about set as Taylor Cummings out there at midfield for the opening draw of the game, as the officials looking to the sidelines. And for the Gators, Molly Stevens, senior midfielder, out there to do the honors. Florida, as you can see, all in white, and Team USA in navy blue.
Yeah, Stevens and Taylor Cummings have done this a few times in their collegiate career. Taylor, obviously, 3-time defending Tewaaraton winner, just graduated, stellar career at the University of Maryland, so look to see big things from her today.
And play underway, as you can see, Team USA going from right to left, and the Gators with the game's opening possession going from left to right. And starting in, that was Ali Pavanelli, and a quick whistle, and now play resumes. Pass on the left side, right in front, and an opportunity, and goes out of play. Shot taken there by Shayna Pareka.
You might see a little bit of confusion to start the game. The Gators used to playing NCAA rules, which are very different from the FIL, Federation of International Lacrosse rules, so you may see a couple false starts to start trying to make the transition from one rule set to the other.
As play resumes, and Melissa, how much of an adjustment is it when you're going to play? They score just like that. The Gators, well, they didn't have to adjust to the rules too much in terms of finding the back of the net, as very quickly they get on the scoreboard, and the Gators with a 1-0 lead 59 seconds into this game.
Yeah, I talked to Mandy O'Leary, head coach for Florida, briefly before the game. She said, you know, they've done this many times, come to play Team USA. Obviously, possession is at a premium. Really a focus for them today was try to get the ball and see if they could hold it. They did a great job there.
But when you're used to primarily collegiate play and all of a sudden you have to learn a whole new set of rules, so to speak, does a coach really spend that much time for something that's only going to last for one weekend?
No, it's really just a reminder, and you know, the officials and the coaching staff for Team USA obviously be a little bit generous with you know, how they're enforcing those rules with Florida. They're being good sports playing by this rule set, and even the Team USA players don't get that many opportunities to play by these rules. So
fair point, and this is a ground ball opportunity here. A bunch of them battle for it, and the Gators initially came away with it. We have a whistle, and Possession will go to Team USA, so they'll get their first opportunity as Taylor Cummings puts it into play. Pass in the middle now. Team USA scores! Just like that on their first possession, as was the case with the Gators. And USA ties the score 1 minute and 25 seconds into the game.
Yeah, Katie Schwartzman with a nice shot there. She's a very good finisher, been doing this a lot of years. Expect to see more of that from her today.
Katie Schwartzman, a Maryland product. The assist to Michelle Tumalo. And you mentioned Amanda O'Leary, the coach of Florida, and wow, I don't know that there's enough time in this broadcast to cover all that she's accomplished. Her 22nd season overall, 8th season at Florida, the winningest active Division I coach, 746 winning percentage. Amazing, the list of accolades.
Absolutely. Mandy O'Leary came down to Florida, started the program, come from a very storied career at Yale. She's a former U.S. team player herself, U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame member. Obviously a big supporter of U.S. Lacrosse, a big supporter of this event, and we're very, very happy to have her down here.
Caroline Benitez for the Gators, looking to start out, closely checked, and tried to play it back to her goaltender, Haley Hicklin, the starting goaltender for Florida this afternoon. And Team USA, the turnover, and here's an opportunity right in front. They score! Wide open look for Kayla Trainer, and USA comes back from a 1-0 hole to take a 2-1 lead.
And this is where Team USA just can absolutely suffocate you. They run a ride immediately at change of possession. Everybody is locked on. You'll see the University of Florida not alone in struggling against this ride. It is sort of a do-or-die ride. If they do it perfectly, they almost always get the ball back.
And Team
You'll
USA, the
fails
turnover, and here's an
sometimes.
opportunity
They
right
give
in
up
front.
some
They
easy goals,
score!
they've committed to this.
Wide open.
They've committed to this type of play, and it seems to work well for them.
And let's not forget that that really all started with the forced turnover, as Benitez was having trouble with the handle and looked for some help from Haley Hicklin, and before you know it, it was a Team USA possession that resulted in their second goal of the game. And as you see there on the lower left of your screen, we are just 2 minutes and 3 seconds in, and that's how quickly they can come in the fastest sport on turf.
Yeah, you're going to see a card here to this Florida player. Pretty big swing. I think that was Sydney Pareca. So she'll sit out here for a yellow card. In international rules, you serve full time. The NCAA, a goal is releases the penalty, but for FIL, they serve full time.
And there's the pass as play resumes. And with it now for Team USA, Courtney Fortunato. And behind the net to Kayla Trainer. Trainer looks in front, sends it up top. With it now is Katie Schwartzman. Her pass over. Taylor Cummings. Cummings the far side. Pass down to the goal line extended, and now down in behind the net. Looking. That's Michelle Tumolo, and ground ball in front, a whistle.
Alex Ost made a smart play there, turning back into her defender, knowing that she was on her back and probably likely to get that foul call.
And this will be Ost putting into play as we wait for the referee's whistle. And there it is, and here she goes. Takes a bounce shot and scores! Between the legs of Haley Hicklin on the ground. And Team USA now 3-1, 3 minutes and 10 seconds into this game. I wonder, Melissa, you said that this is a final look for these girls. How do you make sure that you maintain the team concept while also battling those demons of, if I can do absolutely everything I can to shine in this game, because you don't want this to turn into an individual trying to showcase herself. You still have to play within the team unit.
Right, it's something that I talked to Ricky Freed, the head coach, about a lot yesterday at their practice. He keeps enforcing that it's not necessarily the 18 best players, but the 18 right players that will go forward. So for him, playing within the system, certainly using your talents, but how that fits within their whole unit and think of each other as a unit is really important to him. So far, it seems like they've bought into that.
Well, and not to mention that, as psychological as this might be, but a coach will notice the girl who is trying too hard to stand out, as opposed to the girl that I'm noticing is doing all the right things, which is staying within the team concept. And now, following that third USA goal, the Gators in possession way over on the far side in front of her own sideline, and a long pass up ahead. And quickly, here comes Florida with an opportunity. There's a shot, they score! The
Yep.
Gators come right back, not phased by giving up 3 straight goals to Team USA, and they cut the gap to 3-2.
Certainly don't ever underestimate the Florida Gators. Mandy always brings in a lot of talent. They're quick, they're young, they're energetic, they're ready to play, so glad to see them bounce back there with a goal.
And there you see the long outlet pass that started it. And a nice look, quick passing in front, and bang, finding the back of the net. It was Brianna Harris. Brianna Harris, a freshman midfielder. And for she and the Gators, they are just a few weeks away from their first regular season game, which will be February 11th up in Gainesville against North Carolina. Tall order to start the season for the Gators.
The Gators have never shied away from a good schedule. Glad to see them open up with a big one. Obviously, Carolina coming off a national championship last year, but should be a good one.
And a violation there.
Yep. Looks like she went early. Molly Stevens went a little bit early.
And now play back underway. Team USA looking to answer the Florida goal. And a pass in behind the net, directing traffic.
Spent a good amount of time yesterday watching their practice. They were working a lot on this offensive set, moving the ball very well. I think trying to get a better sense of where they are on the field and where the openings are. So this looks very similar to what I saw yesterday.
Team USA still in control. A bounce shot misses, and just staying in for the Gators, it's Caroline Fitzgerald.
Again, you'll see this pressure come from Team USA. Going to make it very, very hard for Florida to get this ball out of their defensive zone.
Yeah, a long pass there that was stopped just before it went out on the far sideline. Far sideline meaning opposite our broadcast location. And now the Gators managed to cross midfield, and back with it comes Lindsay Ronbeck.
Yep, they did well there. Nice and patient on that.
Ronbeck checked at the last minute. Unable to get the shot off, or at least unable to get a shot on goal.
Looks like we had a foul here, though, on the body. So Ronbeck should center hash here. Never a good place to put Lindsay Ronbeck.
And here she goes. A shot, scores! And making you look good, Melissa, as Ronbeck ties this game at 3, 5 minutes and 17 seconds in. And so indeed the Gators showing some poise, not being rattled by falling into a 3-1 hole after they had opened the scoring. And Ronbeck ties it up here.
Lindsay Ronbeck is a product of the US U19 team. She played for us just a couple years ago in Scotland, and now, you know, having a great start to her career down in Florida. So good to see her out here. Certainly someone we hope to see in the mix with the senior team in the next few years.
Worth mentioning for those of you who are not intimately following the national program that they are made up of players that are from all the way from, well, currently Gussie Johns won't graduate until 2018, and along with Kylie Ohlmiller. And then you have someone like Kelly Rabel, who graduated, actually Devin Willis, back in '06. So quite a range here of players in terms of ages and experience.
Yeah, for sure. I know that some people make a joke, they call Devin grandma, or, you know, a couple of these other players, but they're certainly still capable of playing at such a high level, and it's great for these younger players to have those type of mentors on their team.
And a challenge for the coaches to make sure that they have some veteran leadership like that. The young girls follow someone who's been through the national program. We talked about the international rules versus collegiate, and all those things factor into the mix in putting this roster together as play continues here with the Gators in possession, and they've scored the game's last 2 goals. This is Shayna Pareka, and her shot deflected and goes out of play. And this will remain with the Florida Gators. Back there is Molly Stevens. Senior Molly Stevens, she'd probably like to be known as, in her final year.
Hard to believe it's been 4 years already. Such a good player, such a good teammate.
And a ground ball, and wow.
Yep, got hit there.
For Team USA, that was Kristen Carr who went down. Asked, what inning is it? And got herself back up, and play resumes now.
Yeah, Kristen Carr, another player that's been, in the mix a long time on the last World Cup team. Carolina grad, currently the assistant coach at Stanford.
And moved up ahead. USA crosses midfield. It's Allie Carey, the pass up ahead, and knocked free. That was Sarah Bullard. And USA able to maintain possession. Here's Kelly Rabel.
Impressed so far with Florida's defense. They look a little bit stronger, a little bit tighter than I've seen them in the past. And obviously, I'm a big fan of Haley Hicklin's.
It's Brooke Griffin with it right now. Griffin works her way in front of passing behind the net and back out in front, and a nice job there. Heads up play by Haley Hicklin, the Florida goaltender.
Great heads-up play by Hicklin, paying attention to where she is in the goal, able to get herself in a position to make that interception.
Should mention the goaltender for Team USA this afternoon is Liz Hogan, a Syracuse product. Long way from home, as the saying goes. And the Gators now. This is Shayna Pareka. Pareka being watched closely there by Alice Mercer. Still with it, shoots and scores! So Shayna Pareka doing the heavy lifting, and results in the 4th Florida goal, their first lead of the game since they led 1-0. We are 8 minutes 17 seconds into this game, and here's the replay.
First half.
Pareka took this far outside.
Yeah, that's a tough angle to give up that goal. Looks like Hogan just came off her line just a little bit too early.
Pareka puts it on the top shelf, and Florida a little bit of a confidence booster here as they're matching USA goal for goal for all intents and purposes.
Saw this earlier in the fall classic that Team USA played against Carolina, and they went down, I think it was 5 or 6-0 to Team England at one point. So they're a little bit of a slow starting team, but when they get going, they really get going. So if I'm Florida, I might be holding my breath a little bit here.
Well, and in reality for the Gators, this is the team's first action since October 22nd. So again, to be off for a couple months and come out and be every step of the way, at least so far with Team USA, has to be a shot in the arm for them.
Yeah, for sure, and they're missing 2 great players in Anaya Flanagan and Chloe O'Hare, so certainly doing a great job without those 2. You add those 2 back into the mix, and Florida could be very good this year.
That's certainly what Coach O'Leary is hoping for, and right now it's going to be Team USA in possession. This will be Kylie Ohlmiller to put the ball back into play, and does, in behind the Florida net. With it now is Brooke Griffin. Move it up top. This is Marie McCool. McCool bumped, now double teamed and sends it up top, and a quick pass down low and not shooting. Still with it, Danielle Atrasco. And a pass in front, now they score! Taylor Cummings. Danielle Atrasco set her up nicely.
It's a good, patient offensive set for the U.S. Looked like they had a couple early looks, didn't quite have exactly what they wanted. Waited till they got a good matchup.
Good patience shown by Team USA. 9 minutes, 24 seconds into this first half, as the sun is covering the entirety of the field here at the IMG Academy. And one of those trips that doesn't break the hearts of the families who came to support their daughter, their niece, granddaughter, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. I would say that sentiment is shared by the U.S. lacrosse staff as well.
78 degrees our temperature here, and a push called on Florida, and so the Gators watch Team USA take over and come back down the field. On the far side now, a pass down in behind the net. Looking is Alyssa Murray. She finds Katie Schwartzman. Schwartzman puts it on the ground, and nice defense there by Sydney Pareka. USA holds on. Working now on the far side, and a pass down and behind the net. And a nice quick move there by Kylie Ohlmiller, and they score.
Yeah, Kylie Ohlmiller, one of the really, great stories for this Team USA. First Stony Brook player to be invited to a tryout. First Stony Brook player to make, a roster like this. So great to see her do such good things. She's a tremendous player, very tough, but also very even-tempered. Never really loses her cool. It's been really nice to watch her play.
I'm tempted to do Stony Brook and Storybook, but you can hear that it's easier done than said, easier thought than said. And there you see the replay, and just a nice move there by Ohlmiller. And so this is very much a seesaw battle, as we've had a handful of lead changes already, and we're only just over 10 minutes into the game, and this is Team USA in possession once again. Marie McCool. And a whistle.
Yeah, we're going to get an offside call here. A little bit confusing because the lines, as you can see, if you're watching, the blue lines, which are tough to see, are actually the women's lines. Looks like Pareka got a little confused and thought the white was the restraining line.
And there's a shot and a goal by Danielle Atrasco. And so USA up 6-4 now.
Yep, Danielle Atrasco, a product of Boston University, now the assistant coach at Army. Started a new Division I program last year.
And that's just another indication of the continued rapid growth of the sport of lacrosse here in the United States. When you hear about new programs springing up, always good news for the sport itself, and more opportunities for these young ladies in different roles, whether it's players, coaches, and so forth.
Absolutely. We've seen nationally a decline in team sports. Lacrosse has not suffered that. We've gone the opposite direction, and for the last couple of years been one of the few team sports to see growth at the youth level.
And Florida themselves mentioned their program, and I'll call it young history, and obviously a credit to their coach to where this program has come to in that amount of time.
Sure, I mean, obviously the University of Florida is a big draw, but to have someone of the caliber of Mandy O'Leary go down there and start a program is, extra attractive.
And right in front, they score. Atrasco once again. And goals coming by the bushels now. If there's people driving by saying, look at the crowds, what are they giving away over there? Well, they're giving away goals. 11 goals already in the game's first not even 11 minutes.
And I mentioned this before, if Florida had tied it up just a couple minutes ago, but the U.S. just all of a sudden they can turn into another gear. Florida's got to be a little bit careful here not to let this get out of hand.
Well, and for head coach Ricky Freed, certainly kind of a sigh of relief to see the girls find their second gear and say, all right, hold on a minute, we're tied here. This isn't where we want to be. And lo and behold, 3 quick ones, and they're out in front, 7-4.
They don't get to spend a tremendous amount of time playing together. I think it does take them a little bit of time to get used to each other, but once they do, you would think they've been playing together for years.
At the same time, for Coach O'Leary, I mentioned that their first game won't be until a few weeks from now, so an opportunity to put something on tape to look at and say, okay, we had some experience, let's see what we did well, what we want to work on, because we do have a tall order in our first game of the season.
Well, sure. I mean, I think anytime a coach can put her team out on the field with the best players in the country, it can only benefit them. This only makes the University of Florida better, which is why I think she continues to commit to coming down to this event, or up from Gainesville to this event, because it really shows her team sort of what the standard is in the game.
Carly Marsh with it for the Gators. Her pass connects, and losing it now is Brianna Harris. And quickly back comes Team USA, crossing midfield.
Yeah, Taylor Cummings with a great check there.
It's Kylie Ohlmiller flipping it back, and right in front, Atrasco, who has the hot hand all of a sudden, and a pass down in the corner, and back to Atrasco in front, shot and a save made there by Haley Hicklin, and we have another whistle.
Yeah, you're going to get a foul after the shot here. So in the women's game, once a shot goes, they also pay attention to what happens after. So Atrasco got shoved pretty hard at the end there, so she'll get the ball back here.
And almost nodding Danielle Atrasco to her sideline. Yeah, I'm okay. Give me the ball. She's got the hot hand, the hot stick, and she's going to get another great opportunity here against Haley Hicklin, and instead breaks to her left, sends the pass in behind the net, now on the far side. Team USA in the lead 7-4, and another whistle. That was Alyssa Murray in possession for Team USA when the whistle sounded. And she will restart. You see her there on the far side, and does. Her pass back to Katie Schwartzman. Schwartzman, a pass down in the corner. Working in down there, Brooke Griffin, and that one goes out of play.
Turnover there for Team USA. Those are the kinds of things that drive Coach Freed insane. Sort of an unforced error there.
Hicklin to Alex Puller.
And again, you just see the pressure from Team USA. It's you have to get the ball out quickly with them because they're just going to be all over you.
Forced turnover, and there is a goal. And there were bodies crashing there. I hesitated.
Yep. I thought there might be a foul call
Indeed.
there, but
that's a good goal. And 8-4 now, Team USA in the lead. We're talking about the growth of the game, and certainly the first stick program is something that is helping this game tremendously to grow in places where it probably, without the first stick program, dare I say, might not have had a chance to even be seeded.
Absolutely. It's one of U.S. Lacrosse's sort of flagship programs, providing equipment and stick grants to teams all over the country. Thousands of grants go out each year. It really has helped us grow the game in areas that, you're right, may not have been able to grow it before.
And even an opportunity for coaches to benefit from that program as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the most important things that U.S. Lacrosse likes to focus on are the appropriate development of youth and education for coaches and officials. So we have tons of programs available for all of those things. We're always willing and able to come to your area, train your coaches, train your officials. At the end of the day, that provides a great experience for youth players.
In the meantime, Team USA knocking on the door again. They have built up an 8-4 lead. With it now is Allie Carey. Carey breaking to her right, pass down in the corner. Out with it comes Michelle Tumalo. Her pass doesn't connect, and the Gators able to recover, although Maddie Hall being closely checked. And there you see on the far side, they battle for it.
And this is that ride that I was talking about before, just a relentless pressure coming out. Very hard to find the open player.
Courtney Fortunato, Notre Dame player who's on Team USA. Conflict of interest as they will meet tomorrow. Team USA playing Notre Dame. Confusing moment for her, I'm sure, in terms of which jersey to bring.
Yeah, they're used to it now. I mean, credit to Christine Halfpenny, the coach at Notre Dame, and other college coaches who allow their players who are really in their preseason to come and play for Team USA. So it's a nice benefit for us.
And you saw Kayla Trainer there, number 12 for USA, as she will put the ball back into play here.
Good to see her back on the field. She had suffered a knee injury in the summer and has rehabbed nicely and back on the field.
Wide and out of play. So Team USA still in possession here. Alex Aust will put it in play and does. Right in behind the Florida net. Now she comes out front with her back to the net, not looking to shoot. Sends it up instead to Shannon Gilroy. Now trying is Kelly Rabel. Rabel working, sends it over. And this is Allie Carey. Carey has a step and switches hands. Nice job, shot save And Haley Hicklin there to close the door, but Team USA collects the rebound. They're still in possession.
That's well done by Hicklin, in good position there to make that save.
And a nice job to change hands along the way for a look at the cage, but Hicklin was up to the task, and another whistle stops play here. 14:04 to go here in this first half of play. 8-4 Team USA. I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Melissa Coyne. We are at the IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida for the USA Spring Premiere. And Kelly Rabel is told, no, here, start here, and then we'll start. So she's there, and they do. She sends it back to Allie Carey. Carey with a little burst. Sends it back instead to Shannon Gilroy. Gilroy in behind the net. Here's Alex Ost. Ost turns, sends it back in behind the net once again. And looking for someone, Kayla Trainer, and a pair of 12s there. She sends it back behind the net instead, is out in front, and a backhand tried by Courtney Fortunato, but out of play.
Pretty creative play by Fortunato there to try to get a shot off. I think what Team USA is recognizing is Florida's really overplaying their strong hands. So it looks like they're probably going to have to go at this from the backside, see if we can get her to turn back.
Yeah, Team USA is spending an awful lot of time in behind the Florida net and behind Haley Hicklin. Reminds me of Wayne Gretzky's days playing in the NHL when he would, that was literally known as his office. He would set up shop behind the net, and it was very dangerous from back there, and so many of his assists came from starting back there. In the Team USA this afternoon is getting very comfortable in behind that Florida net. Now the Gators with an opportunity down the other way, and in my opinion, she should have shot, but
it's very tempting.
My opinion, in 25 cents will get you a cup of coffee, they always say. And there is a shot taken, score!
It was a smart play by Florida. They just spent about 6 or 7 minutes down the defensive end, did a nice job transitioning the ball, didn't take that first shot, went for a better look. They end up with a goal.
Shayna Pareka gets her team back on the scoreboard. And, you know, in all honesty, Melissa, for as much time as Team USA has spent in the Florida end of the field, all of a sudden you come down there and you get another goal, and you're only down by 3. You know, it feels like this game has been all Team USA, but you look at the scoreboard and you say, hey, you know what, we're actually still in this if you're the Gators.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the great things about lacrosse. You can go on a pretty quick run, get some quick goals in. It's a high-scoring game. It looks like Team USA has made a goalie change here. Looks like 31 Gussie Johns is now in the net.
Gussie Johns, who I mentioned earlier, along with Kylie Ohlmiller, in terms of not graduating until 2018. So one of the youngsters, as Liz Hogan had started the game. And so 17:44 for those of you keeping score at home, the goaltending change after the 5th Florida goal.
I think you're going to see a lot of that today. Again, these are two keepers that are battling it out for a spot on this roster. Devin Wills is here. She practiced some, but not quite healthy enough to play in a full game yet. So you get to see lots of Gussie Johns and Liz Hogan, which is good to see.
Careless play there by Florida. Let's see if they're able to recover the ground ball as it's still being battled for. And no, coming away with it is Team USA as Allie Carey comes away in an unfortunate development there as Florida had a chance. Again, a goaltender that maybe was warmed up pregame but hasn't seen her first shot of the game yet. It would be a great opportunity to come down and try to build off that momentum of that goal. And instead, down the other way, a shot by USA goes out of play.
Yep, Tumalo looked like she was trying to catch the Florida goalkeeper a little bit off balance there. Not a bad shot to take. Again, wide shot. Nice backup behind the goal for Trainer.
And this is Trainer working, sends it up top. Kelly Rabel working her way down the zone, and a save made there by Hicklin. And nice job by Florida as they start to head out in transition, and a ground ball and a turnover, and here comes Team USA again.
Good heads-up play there by Shannon Gilroy, a former Gator. Just finished up her playing career.
Trainer almost looked as though she was going to shoot, and opts instead to send this one way back up top. Breaking now is carrying a shot. Nice save made as Haley Hicklin has been tested so much that I think she's starting to find her groove, a little more warmed up, and a little more accustomed to seeing these USA shooters now and obviously knows certain tendencies.
Right, good solid play by her. I have to be honest, not the two best shots I've seen Team USA take, sort of low angle shots to take. I can't imagine to see both those players who took those shots are now exiting the field. I'm sure Coach Freed's going to have a few
Nonetheless,
things to say.
it's still going to boost the confidence of Haley Hickland, and just needs her team around her, cause some turnovers. And as we said, Florida not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. Lots of lacrosse left to play. And glad to have you with us here on this live stream of the first of 4 games of this USA Spring Premiere. And that's Alex Ost. Ost being bumped, and her pass collected there. Marie McCool. McCool almost double teamed. She has to give it up. And now Laura Zimmerman sends it down. And quick passing by Team USA. Nice save made off the stick of Laura Zimmerman. And Hickland, as I mentioned, really into this game now as Taylor Bresnahan sends it up ahead. And here at midfield, this is Lindsay Ronbeck. Ronbeck with a little bit of a burst. Ronbeck across the restraining line and down and turns. And she's going to wait for the rest of her team. And now she's being closely guarded there by Alice Mercer. And now here comes the goaltender, Gussie Johns. And that means someone's open as Ronbeck goes down to the field and USA able to cause a turnover. Aggressive play there by Team USA defensively.
It's intentional. It's part of what they're trying to do. If they can pin a player in the corner, they'll pull that goalie out. All 3 goalies very athletic, very quick for the U.S. can come out and play some defense as well.
And a shot and a goal for Alex Ost as Team USA very quickly capitalizes on the forced turnover down in their defensive zone, and the Americans have a 9-5 lead with 8:52 to go here in the first half. And a beautiful facility here for those of you who have not been down to Bradenton, to this field in particular. Great field for playing lacrosse and a great stadium to sit and watch this tournament.
Timeout, Florida. This will be a 90-second timeout.
And now we have the game's first timeout.
Why do we do what we do?
Well, we believe that participation in lacrosse positively influences lives.
We believe lacrosse should be open to all kids that want to play.
We believe in a future that offers everyone the opportunity to participate.
U.S. Lacrosse is a nonprofit organization that provides resources to fuel the sport's growth and development.
Support our efforts at uslacrosse.org.
So, you want to be the best? So does everybody else. See, it takes more than wanting it. You gotta show up. And when you show up and camp here, you'll be ready to compete anywhere.
The Gators with the game's first timeout. They trail here 9-5 with 8:52 to go in the first half. And as I mentioned, these two teams will go at it again later this afternoon. We will not have that for you on live stream. Melissa, that game will probably not take the same look as this one did.
No, I think it'll be a little bit more controlled situation, more like a scrimmage type of environment where they can run through some different scenarios. As generous as Mandy O'Leary has been with her team and her time, they do have a game in 2 weeks and certainly don't want to overtax her players so close to the start of the season. And I know they're dealing with a few injuries. Again, so grateful that they're willing to come here and play these games, but don't think they'll play a full second game.
For those of you that are watching from up in the Gainesville area, February 11th is that game against North Carolina, 12 noon start, and then they will have an exhibition game against the Scottish national team 4 days later, February 15th, a 5 p.m. start, and then February 24th, Southern California making the trip across the country to take on the Gators in Gainesville before Florida goes on a 3-game road trip. As play resumes here, with Team USA in possession once again, and a nice job there by Laura Zimmerman, and she sends it down and gets the pass right back and right in front, missing, and a good job by Florida.
I think Brooke Griffin would like to have that pass back again. A good look by Zimmerman there.
Now way on the far side, here come the Gators down into the USA end of the field, and a long shot scores! And Florida hanging tough with the Americans as it's 8:25 left here in the first half. And the Gators have just scored again. An unassisted goal makes the score 9-6.
So a little bit of what I was talking about before in that risk reward on the ride. So you'll see in the replay here how far out of the goal Gussie Johns is. You may see her at the bottom of your screen. She's trying to mark that player outside of the goal. It either works or it doesn't.
And if you also noticed, Lindsay Ronbeck and Shayna Pareka were both right there to be Joni on the doorstep just in case there was a rebound or perhaps a shot that might have ricocheted off of someone. So deck was stacked in the Gators' favor regardless. And so a chance for Coach O'Leary and her troops to keep this one close, as she'll have some conversation at halftime, and obviously we'll make sure that her team is ready to compete until the game's final whistle. But right now it's Team USA in possession once again. Alice Mercer, and a whistle on the far side.
Alice Mercer, to me, one of the great players in the game, tremendous career at the University of Maryland. She can play both ends of the field. She is a tremendous defender. She can also score in transition. Very dangerous player you don't want to leave free.
And she puts the ball back into play with a pass down, and quickly they move it in behind the Florida net. This is Atrasco. Danielle Atrasco, 2 people on her, and she passes up front, and a shot scores!
That's Marie McCool, another one of the young players here. She's a 2018 grad for UNC.
And so no sooner did the Gators close the gap than Team USA goes back up by 4 once again. 7:37 left, and you see the replay here. And Team USA with some precision passing.
Great movement on the outside, pulls that second defender down, leaves McCool open in the middle, and that's never ends well for a goalie.
Well, and just a little bit of a deke by McCool before pulling the trigger. And if you notice, the officials are wearing GoPro cameras. You can see it on the cap right there, while on that tight shot that we just had. Melissa, that's for a reason. That's not just for fun.
It's for a couple different reasons. One, it gives us some great on-field footage of what it actually looks like to follow play, and 2, we use it for training purposes for officials. It's a great opportunity to see what they see and their positioning on the field.
Really an aspect, really, of all sports that goes largely unnoticed is the need to develop officials. Everyone thinks about being a player first, possibly a coach second, and a distant third. There might even be something in between, but the officials are a necessary part of any sport, and so there's the development aspect of those officials that is hugely important, and that's a great resource for U.S. Lacrosse to employ.
One of the great voids in all of youth sports is the number of young people getting into officiating. It's certainly something we're focused on, need to see a lot more people getting into officiating.
And Team USA scoring again there. 11-6 now, they take the lead with 6:53 to go here in the first half. And a reminder that we do have 2 games for you tomorrow. the women's national team and the men's national team will each play Notre Dame. We will have those available for a live stream. We do encourage you to watch, tell your friends, tell your neighbors. As David Letterman used to say, wake the kids and phone the neighbors. As more lacrosse on the way this weekend here from the IMG Academy in Bradenton. And for the men, that game tomorrow will be a lot different from this one in terms of the importance for these women this afternoon and what we've been discussing throughout the broadcast and being looked at for the final roster. Not so much for the men tomorrow.
Different motivation. Coach Danowski's bringing a group of guys in that just wants to create a culture, teach them a little bit about his idea, the Team USA way. Not a tryout really situation for them, more bringing a great group of guys together and giving them exposure at this level.
Nice job by Taylor Cummings to have controlled that draw, and then we do get a quick whistle, and USA, as you see there, will put it right back in at the restraining line and being told to back up, however. That is Kristen Carr, and now she puts it in play to McCool. McCool, a quick pass. This is Zimmerman. Zimmerman right in front, and a nice save made there as a shot taken by Brooke Griffin. And Hicklin sends that one out to Kara Trombetta. Trombetta quickly on the far side and gets it up ahead. Now another long pass. Florida with an opportunity here. Here's a shot taken, scores! Shayna Pareka. And UF just continues to battle back in this game. They now trail 11-7.
Two things there. One, continue to be impressed with Hicklin, just where she needs to be in the right spot, stands tall, and Trombetta absolutely beat that ride down the sideline there. So great play by Florida.
Indeed, good hustle right in front of her own sideline where you want to be seen that you're doing good things. Coach O'Leary obviously knows what she has to work with, though, already. As we've been mentioning a few times, their season just a few weeks away from getting started. And so now it's Molly Stevens out there with Shannon Gilroy for Team USA as a personnel change being made by Team USA as Megan Dowdy comes on.
Got Gator versus Gator at the draw here.
And just about ready for it.
Molly Stevens and Shannon Gilroy, teammates just a season ago, 2 seasons ago. So.
And this is Megan Dowdy, who had possession and had it knocked away. Nice job by the Gators. And again, right in front of their own sideline. And this is going to be Sydney Pareka who will put it back in for the Gators. And the referee gets the ladies set
4 meters away from the sideline so that they can't be closer than 4 meters from the sideline, so he'll bring them in 2 meters, excuse me.
And she will be watched there by Alyssa Murray. And now play begins, resumes Pareka and another whistle. And Sydney Pareka will try once again. She and her teammates trail 11-7 with 5:10 to go here in the first half. And here she goes across midfield. Pareka being chased there by Dowdy. And the Gators, they want another one, and that one's going to go out of play. And this will remain in possession of Florida. Shayna Pareka, sister, fishing it out back there. Shayna Pareka is a junior, the older of the 2 sisters. And she still has possession. And now down behind the Team USA net. And there's that double team again by USA. And they force the turnover.
Yeah, that's the second time Florida's lost possession of the ball there in that corner. They're going to need to find an outlet quicker. Gussie Johns very quick out of the goal circle to come out and help there.
And that was Carly Marsh, senior for Florida, that lost possession. And in the meantime, Becca Block for Team USA as they move it quickly now into the Florida end of the field. This is Brooke Griffin. She sends a pass over, and quickly they cycle it around the perimeter. as it's restored up top to Shannon Gilroy. Gilroy over to Bullard. Back to Gilroy again, and now on the far side, and now in the middle, a pass there for Atrasco. And hold on, as we have a whistle. Going down to the field was Kelly Rabel.
Yep, took a cross check there. So that'll give Sydney Pareca a couple minutes to think about that one. So it's a yellow card. Again, 2 minutes, full serve time. No release on the goal like the NCAA rules, so she'll serve the full 2 minutes, which down 2 minutes, or down a player for 2 minutes in this end is not what Coach O'Leary is going to want to see here.
And so Haley Hicklin will be greatly tested here as USA will seek to capitalize on that call against Sydney Pareca. Sydney Pareca from Mount Sinai, New York. And now play resumes, and here goes Team USA looking to build on this lead. Sarah Bullard and Gilroy up top. Now on the far side, and a pass back over for Bullard, and up to Gilroy again. Gilroy right down low. USA moving it nicely here. And watch out as the Florida defense collapses and had forced a turnover, but no, the Americans recover quickly, and here comes Bullard.
That's unlucky.
And another whistle.
Pavanelli made a great play there to strip that ball from Atrasco in the middle.
And the clock continues to run, 2:52 left here in the first half. And this is Sarah Bullard. And she opts to pass over to the right, and a pass in the middle. Not a real advisable pass, and Team USA is going to come away with it anyways. Hicklin closes the door there, and here come the Gators.
Yeah, Alyssa Murray took a good shot there, but again, Hicklin right in the right spot.
Quickly down the far side, Trombetta, and two USA players on her. Ground ball, and USA, plenty of Navy shirts there to pick that one up, and Megan Dowdy sends this one up ahead.
Players may be getting just a little bit tired, a little bit of sloppy play here. Gonna get a foul on Florida.
And this will be Alyssa Murray for Team USA as we have entered the game's final 2 minutes, and USA in possession here. They lead 11-7 as this is Shannon Gilroy with it. Over to Bullard, but we have another whistle.
It's gonna be offside call here on Florida, so they'll put the player back on side, give the ball to Team USA and put a player behind.
And the clock does stop, 1:44, and Bullard retreats. Pass back now on the far side, and right in the middle, shot hit the crossbar, and Hicklin picks up the rebound. And good heads-up play there, as the goalpost is the goaltender's best friend, as Florida is going to start back here in the person of Shayna Pareca. Pareca, a long shot, misses, and out of play. And again, she had Gussie Johns gambling and tried to exploit it, but couldn't. And so USA puts the ball back into play. They get it up quickly to midfield. 1:09 left in the first half.
Again, when you get past that midfield point and you beat the ride a little bit, you get excited and think, I'll take a shot at goal, but really Florida needs to think about a possession here. They've been playing a lot of defense.
And now we'll get another stoppage, as going down to the field for the Gators was Ali Pavanelli. And so here is that possession opportunity for UF, as Shayna Pareca has it. Pareca looking and finds a teammate now quickly in front and tried the quick stick, unsuccessful. That was Molly Stevens, and Johns with it as the clock winding down to 34 seconds left here in the opening half. Shannon Gilroy not in a real hurry. She's going to be chased down, however, and now she sends it up ahead. And a pass here for Atrasco. Atrasco is bumped, gets her own rebound. 16 seconds left. USA obviously going to look for one last shot, And Kelly Rabel takes it and hit the crossbar again. And a big rebound rolling out. And here goes Florida with a long shot that scores. Wow, with 1 second left in the first half. How about that?
Wow.
You know, in
That's a
college
heads-up
basketball,
play
you
there.
see a lot of those heave-hoes at the last minute from midcourt. See if they can come anywhere near the basket. And here, a heads-up play by the Gators, and that will put them down by 3 as they go into halftime, although they'll go through the formality to get this final second off the clock. But an exciting way for them to end the first half and creep to within 3 goals of Team USA.
Yeah, I think they're gonna determine here that the clock had expired. Looks like the goal will count, but
The goal will stand.
Goal will stand.
But the teams are going to go into halftime with Team USA in an 11-8 lead. We are at the IMG Academy in Bradenton, the USA Spring Premier Tournament. The first of 4 games on the weekend.
As long as I can remember, lacrosse was probably the most important thing in my life.
To have something like that follow me along all the way through my college and have it associated with my friends and my family and everything that I've done is what it kind of means to me.
I've seen it create opportunity for a ton of different guys, and the opportunities it's created for me to see success and to learn.
It really teaches you hard work, dedication.
You know, it's something that I want to keep with me.
All right, guys, let's have a good time today. Possession!
When my priorities started to change and lacrosse couldn't be as big a part of my life as it had been, I found that officiating was a way for me to stay involved with the game, but it provided a lot of flexibility in me setting my own schedule, but I could still be around the game.
It's another step, and it's another segue to still staying involved and also having that balance, because, you know, it's hard having that work-life balance. And where officiating, I can do that on the weekend. I can do that after my work. And it's still giving me that, I guess, camaraderie as well. That's certainly what I miss.
I literally thought I was just going to be officiating for 1 year. That was my goal. Referee for 1 year and then get into coaching and stay involved in the game that way. Second I put on the stripes, fell in love with it. Absolutely loved every aspect of it. The demands, the challenges, trying to be the best out there every single game.
Officiating is something that has been a great outlet for me. Post-college and during college, I was able to make a little money on the side while getting to stay involved in the game in a different aspect than playing. And I think for girls our age or boys coming out of college, this is a perfect outlet to stay involved.
Officiating definitely translates to all aspects of my life. I've met great guys that I'm able to kind of emulate, and you gain a lot of information from those guys. And also the in-game stuff, you know, problem solving, being confident, communicating through a kind of stressful time are all things that you can translate to your daily life.
Being able to say, okay, well, I can take the opportunities and the lessons that I've learned on the lacrosse field, and I'm not scared of anything, and I'm not afraid to voice my own opinions, and really kind of stand up for myself in a way that's non-confrontational but still very authoritative, I think is a huge advantage as an official.
I think officiating has taught me that there's things that are bigger than yourself. And the best part about officiating, when you feel like you've done a good job and other people have said you've done a good job, is you only get involved when you have to. You're there to officiate the game, you're there to enforce the rules, interpret the rules, and the less visible you are, the better.
You know, even if we're not instructing the players, what we do and say out on the field is helping those players to develop and become better.
You really get to keep that connection with the sport. You get to make connections with the players, with the coaches, and with the fans. It makes it a lot of fun being able to be in the game and still be a part of the game by being an official.
Thanks, buddy. Good job.
Being like one of these first few younger officials, I think that we can definitely start a trend, and I think if there's anything I can say, or maybe just one little thing that can help more people get involved, I feel like I can definitely make an impact that way.
You feel the intensity of the game, you're a part of the game, and that gives you a chance to still, even though you're not playing, be a part of something special. I think, when you go through this and you start getting bigger playoff games and you're starting to do things, you're part of something.
So one of my favorite officiating moments was after a game, and a parent approached us and just congratulated us on doing a great job and that they really appreciate our time. So that's always a positive thing when, regardless of win or lose, you have parents that can say, whether my child won or lost, we feel like you refereed a fair game.
Big games, the roar of the crowd, the anticipation, getting ready in the locker room, getting my things together at home, kind of thinking about what's going on. The feeling, there's a feeling there that I really enjoyed as a player, knowing a big game was coming. And officiating has done that for me again.
I think our players have such a love and passion for the game, and so once they graduate, for them to be able to move on and give back as an official, help to grow the game, help to influence young people, I think that's a wonderful thing for them to do as they go into their adult life.
As our sport grows, there is a lack of officials out there, and it just gives players at all levels more of an opportunity to play, and to play in an environment that is officiated by players that have played the game allows for those young players to play at their best.
The speed of our game has increased tremendously, and so I think it's really important that our officials hold themselves to that same level. And having younger officials come into the game, people who have played at that fast pace and can make decisions at that fast pace and be physically fit, will help our game continue to grow and continue to rise up.
The benefits really are just a deeper understanding of the sport, a whole nother side of it. For the most part, our student athletes are very smart individuals, and I think we all have a passion for learning, so you get to learn something completely different and new.
Officiating is your way to stay involved. It is incredible experience. You're running up the field with the girls. You feel like you are still a player. You get to meet an incredible community of other officials who have a good time, are there for the same reason you are, and you feel like you're on a team again.
You got to get into this. This is a great way to get out, get active, to give back to the sport that's given so much to you. You get to make great money, you get to meet really nice people, and have a good time.
It's definitely a cool unit to be a part of, and it's something that you can do for the rest of your life.
Wozniak, joined by Melissa Coyne, and we are at halftime. Team USA with an 11-8 lead over the Florida Gators. Looking at the first half scoring, wow, 19 goals as I mentioned, and very balanced attack. Team USA 2 goals each from all of the following: Katie Schwartzman, Alex Aust, Danielle Atrasco, and Taylor Cummings. And meanwhile, for the Florida Gators, Shayna Pareka leading the way with 3 goals. Sammy Burgess has a pair. And also have to mention, Melissa, Haley Hicklin with 6 saves in that first half.
Impressed with Haley Hicklin. She's been solid. She's been in the right spots. She's made some great decisions in terms of outlet passing. She's been able to get her team out of the notorious Team USA ride a couple of times. So pleased to see her playing so well.
And we mentioned the importance of this tournament for Team USA, and this is the last chance for some of these girls.
Yeah, at the end of this day, coaching staff really after tomorrow will have some very tough decisions to make. They've got 25 players here, 20 of them will go forward, 18 on the roster, and 2 alternates to the World Cup, which will be this summer in Manchester, England.
And one of the names that I did not mention among all those Team USA goal scorers, but you heard her name being called a lot if you were watching the first half here with us, Shannon Gilroy, who is, you can't even just say she's a Florida product, because the Florida record book should be named after her. She is at the top of so many categories: individual season records, career records. I mean, she is Florida Gators lacrosse all-time points leader, points per game, goals, the list goes on in terms of all the different categories that she's their all-time leader in: shots on goal, second in games played. And so this is, we mentioned before, the irony of playing against the school that you graduated from, and in the case that will be with Courtney Fortunato tomorrow when Team USA plays Notre Dame. Courtney Fortunato is a Fighting Irish, if I'm saying that correctly. As we are about set here to start the second half of play, and of course the teams have switched ends, so the Gators will now be going right to left, and Team USA with an 11-8 lead going left to right. They are wearing navy, in case you've just tuned in to our live stream here, and the Gators all in white this afternoon.
For Florida, 29,
and about set to start now.
And Team USA, 31, Gussie Johns.
And quick whistle there as Taylor Bresnahan out there, a pair of 12s. Bresnahan for Florida and Kayla Trainer for Team USA.
Yep, whistle was for an illegal draw. The ball itself must go above both players' shoulders. So when that doesn't happen, the official will blow the whistle and signal redraw.
And they will do that. And somehow 8 seconds ticked off the clock. The scorekeeper has obviously got other plans this afternoon, or the timekeeper has got other plans this afternoon, but in the meantime, we plan to bring you the rest of this game here, where we've had a huge offensive display in the first half with 19 goals being scored, and here's Team USA working the other end of the field as Laura Zimmerman has possession and gives it to Katie Schwartzman. I mentioned Schwartzman had 2 goals in the first half and a ground ball there, and they battle for it in the far corner. Team USA comes away with it. This is Daniela Trasco. She had 2 goals in the first half, and quick passing, and right out in front, and a player goes down, and we have a whistle.
Really smart play there from Kayla Trainer. She knew she had a defender on her back. She just needed to make it seem like she was open. She was going to get fouled there. That's a smart play. Going to give her a great look here.
And so Kayla Trainer, I had mentioned Liz Hogan, who is the starting goaltender, being a Syracuse product, and Trainer is as well, and another whistle.
Yeah, certainly this roster for Team USA not short on Syracuse, Carolina, or Maryland players.
And there's a shot and a save made, and that one goes out of play. I do want to mention Florida, as you touched on very briefly earlier in our broadcast, Melissa. Florida somewhat shorthanded today. 3 players out due to injury, the most notable of which is Anaya Flanagan, a junior defender. So let's bear that in mind as Florida works here towards their season opener in a few weeks, but having to do so this afternoon without 3 players, and one of them in particular very noticeable by her absence.
Sure, that's always tough to have a top player injured just a few weeks before the start of your season, but a good opportunity for some younger players and maybe some players that weren't going to get as much playing time to step up and make something happen.
Now down in behind the Florida net, Team USA going to work here in the early going of the second half, and a pass right down the goal crease, and they'll pull it up top instead to Zimmerman. Laura Zimmerman has room to work, sends a pass in behind the net. Now shaking and baking, and wow, Kayla Trainer with all kinds of acrobatics there, and Team USA, it's the first goal of the second half. They now lead 12-8.
I'm not quite sure how she kept the ball in her stick there, but that's quite a play. Kayla Trainer's got some great size, so she's able to, box her defender out there and find some space on that lower side of the goal circle.
Well, and obviously she was literally towing the line, and good awareness by her of her presence there, and able to stay on the good side of the crease and convert for Team USA's 12th goal of the game.
Kayla Trainer, another product of a former U19 player for Team USA who's now made her way onto the senior team. Several of these players made their way through the U19 ranks before they've come up. So good to see her out here on the field.
And again, you notice the attention by the official being paid here, and it gets back to what we talked about earlier, Melissa, with developing the officials, and this is how precise you want them to be, because everyone looks at the players, and especially an event like this, and the players being watched in terms of whether they make the final roster. But from a U.S. lacrosse standpoint, it's important that the officials are mid-season form, even for, as I called this at the beginning of the broadcast, a somewhat friendly game.
Certainly, they work very hard. They train very hard. They spend a lot of time reviewing rules and watching film. They work as hard as the players do.
Well, and as you mentioned before with the violation, face-offs in women's lacrosse are very precise. So they're not just going to kind of do it as a formality.
They're called draws.
There's the hockey and indoor lacrosse guy in me coming out again.
It's okay. You are certainly not alone. But face-off in the men's game, draw in the women's game. The draw is very precise. It's crucial, just like the face-off in the men's game. It's a really important aspect.
Yeah, as I've pointed out so many times on all the lacrosse broadcasts that I do, it's another possession opportunity. So it's always going to be crucial every time you step out there for a draw or a face-off.
Again, you see Gussie Johns way outside of the goal circle here, trying to put some pressure on Florida.
And I want to add ground balls to that equation too. Those of you youngsters who are watching, ground balls are always a huge possession opportunity, and it's so crucial, and it's why it's such an important element of the game. As USA in possession here now, and they push it up across midfield. And quickly, a pass up ahead to Michelle Tomolo. Tomolo backpedaling and is going to retreat and send it in behind the Florida net to Kayla Trainer.
Yeah, that's a familiar combination. Tumalo and Kayla Trainer played a lot of years together at Syracuse.
Alyssa Murray. And there's a shot and a nice save made by Hicklin. And picking up where she left off in the second half of the first half once she really got settled in. And now it's the Gators able to come back the other way. Quickly down the far sideline. That's Lindsay Ronbeck, and there's a pass in the middle, and Florida's going to slow things down as Ali Pavanelli has it. Pavanelli bumped, and going down, Shannon Gilroy.
Yeah, Gilroy's going to get carded here for this.
And almost had the elbow up a little bit too high.
Yep. Nice of her to pick her former teammate. I actually don't know if they were teammates, but nice to pick up a fellow Gator off the ground.
And I'm getting the official yes that they were teammates. So right you are. Pick up her former teammate off the field. And so for the Gators, after giving up the first goal of this half, an opportunity here for them to cut the gap back to 3. And And here comes a shot, and he scores. She scores. Allie Pavanelli. And she puts that one up in the top corner. And now the gap is reduced back to 3. 4 minutes, 59 seconds into the second half, 12-9. Team
Florida
USA in the
goal
lead.
scored by
Coach
24.
O'Leary has to be very happy with what she's seeing so far here, just down
On a
3
free
goals
position
to
shot,
Team USA with a
25:01 remaining.
little bit of an injured roster.
And here you see the replay as Pavanelli just with a little bit of a head fake. And she was pleased that Gussie Johns bit enough on it. Pavanelli able to find the top corner. And so the Gators, as you mentioned, Melissa, hanging tight here with Team USA. And now Team USA, Allie Carey out there. Going up against the goal scorer, Pavanelli.
Yeah, Allie Carey, another player that has been in the mix for a long time on the last roster, graduate of Vanderbilt. You see the official here taking a lot of time with this draw. It's very hard to set. It's not on the ground. It's up in the air. Sticks need to be parallel. To get that ball up in the air is not as easy as it looks.
And another whistle. This will be possession for the Gators, however. And here they come quickly, and they score!
That was Ron back there with the goal. Great teamwork there. A bunch of really great passes.
And we were talking about draw controls, and another category that Shannon Gilroy is, wow, the runaway leader all time for Florida. Of course, Gilroy wearing the Team USA jersey this afternoon as you see the replay of the goal here as Lindsey Ronbeck gets the goal. Shannon Gilroy, in her career at Florida, 303 draw controls. The next closest at 214. So Shannon Gilroy can tell you a thing or two about draw controls from her career with the Gators. And in the meantime, it's Pavanelli, this time for Florida. As her team has drawn within 2, it's 12-10 in favor of Team USA. And I do have to wonder to some extent, Melissa, if the Team USA players are saying, wow, these Gators showed up to play. This is a challenge that we have here. This isn't a walk in the park. This isn't a nice Saturday afternoon in Florida.
It could be a combination of things. I certainly don't think, and I know Coach Freed enough to know that they don't underestimate any opponent that they bring in here. You have to remember, the University of Florida is a top 5 program in the country. Many of these Team USA players have played against Florida, so I don't know that it's an underestimating Florida. I think there's some nerves out here. I think they know this is their last opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to say there's the psychology in this game of I'm so focused on am I playing right? Am I in all the right spots? Is the coach seeing what I'm doing? And uh-oh, Florida is keeping us close here. I need to stop overthinking this.
Right, so what'll be interesting to see is who on this field for Team USA is going to calm everybody down and say, let's just get back to what we're good at and get a little bit of focus back, stop some of these unforced turnovers, and just get back to just playing.
And Katie Schwartzman, patient with it right now, maybe doing a little bit of that. Not in a real hurry. Tendency would be, uh-oh, they've scored 2 in a row. We need to get it back. And instead, now finally going down to the field. Some hard work there by Taylor Cummings. And so USA maintaining possession here. And Taylor Cummings, who had 2 goals in the first half, starts this with a pass that misses, and the Gators able to recover. Good opportunity for them.
I certainly, that's a nice play there by Alice Mercer. Again, someone, she is just so talented and able to go both ways. I would say to you that I wouldn't be surprised to see Michelle Tumolo be the one here that kind of calms everyone down, gets everyone settled again.
So let's keep an eye out. In the meantime, Alice Mercer, of course, will restart.
Get a card there, check to the head. So again, Florida will play. I think that was Trombetta, it looks like. So Florida will play down for 2 minutes here.
Saw coming 6:49 into the second half. And there is Tumalo with it now, sending it back in behind the net. Kayla Trainer, and they move it up quickly. Katie Schwartzman sends it up top. Laura Zimmerman, her pass over. And a whistle while Taylor Cummings had possession.
A shooting space call there. Carly Marsh jumped into shooting space in the women's game because they're not wearing protective equipment. You can't stand just in front of the goal when another player has an opportunity to shoot. That's an automatic whistle.
And something that I've always been impressed with all my years in lacrosse is the importance that is placed on safety, and that's exactly what that's about. And there's an opportunity, they score very quickly. Tumalo with the goal. And so USA goes back into a 3-goal lead. It's 13-10.
Yeah, Michelle Tumalo, has sort of flown under the radar today, but she does a lot of the small things really well. And she tends, when she does speak, to have the ability for her teammates to listen to her. So again, she's headed off the field now for a few minutes now, but I think she's one that could really set a tone for Team USA here in the second half.
And you saw the goal there, and nice job just to find that small space up in the top corner and beat Haley Hicklin.
Yeah, and you mentioned safety in the women's game. Obviously, safety a big concern across the sport. Wanted to mention that next weekend US Lacrosse hosts its annual convention. Still time to register for that online, uslacrosse.org/LaxCon. And at that convention, we'll also have a sports medicine symposium. Some of the great minds in sports medicine and specifically in lacrosse come together. Safety's always a big thing we talk about, put a lot of emphasis on it. So if you haven't registered for a convention yet, still time to do that online.
LaxCon taking place next weekend in Baltimore as play has resumed here. And USA in possession once again. This is Courtney Fortunato dropping her pass back for Taylor Cummings. And right in front, shot didn't get through, and the Gators able to control the rebound. And Haley Hicklin's going to settle things down and look for some help. A long outlet pass, and tried to connect with Maddie Hall, and now able to recover, and here come the Gators, but no, an errant pass, that's going to be a turnover, and Team USA quickly the other way in transition. Schwartzman sends a pass up ahead, and quickly in front they score! So Team USA makes Florida pay for a turnover there, and the Gators with a little bit of, the Team USA with a little bit of breathing room now. They lead 14-10. It sounds like a football score.
Certainly lots of goals between these two teams. I don't think that's going to let up anytime soon.
And LaxCon, as we mentioned, next weekend in Baltimore as we see the replay here. And again, the passing by Team USA, and just enough of a quick fake there to beat Haley Hicklin. Wanted to talk also, Melissa, about the Lacrosse Athlete Development Program that US Lacrosse has. Really a very visionary program, in my opinion.
Again, with a lot of other sports, you've seen this come, the focus on making lacrosse a positive experience, especially at the youth level, so that kids want to play longer. Developing the Lacrosse Athlete Development Model has been an effort to support that. Certainly, again, the focus on changing youth play to emphasize fun and skill development, sort of the right lacrosse at the right time developmentally for kids. So something we're very committed to, very excited about, and looking forward to telling people more and more about as we kind of roll out the program over the next few years.
And here's an opportunity for Team USA as they continue to, and right down low, they continue to work the perimeter and quickly saw an opportunity. Haley Hicklin made the save there, Alex Ost, and a ground ball. And Hicklin again there to close the door. Nice heads-up play by her as Team USA had a tremendous opportunity, and they maintain possession. Does the blue and white, and a pass here now. Two defenders collapse, and they pass instead behind the net.
This is, often the hallmark of a really great goalkeeper. She made a great save, made a mistake turning it over, but stayed inside her goal circle, right where she needed to be, came up with a second save. That's a great play, heads-up play there.
Zimmerman sends it over to Alyssa Murray. Murray waiting, some personnel changes being made by Coach Freed. Some fresh legs come on the field, and now Alex Ost. Ost being bumped. Gives it up to Fortunato. Fortunato. Her pass connects with Kylie Ohlmiller, and Ohlmiller goes down. A little slow in getting up.
Yeah, you saw, I don't know if you could see it on the screen, but the official raised a flag. There was a foul in the play, but because Ohlmiller took a shot, that flag is negated.
So play carries on with Allie Carey. Carey with a little bit of a burst, sends it down in the corner to Ohlmiller. Ohlmiller looking in, shoots and scores! Kylie Ohlmiller, I don't know that Haley Hicklin was expecting the shot. And that one finds the back of the net, and Team USA now into a 5-goal lead. It's 15-10, 10 minutes and 8 seconds into this second half. And slowly, Team USA is starting to step on the gas.
Right, again, this is what tends to happen with Team USA. Again, they've got a lot of players going in and out. I know Florida's doing their best to keep up, but they've got a few injured players. So this is usually the point in the game where you see them start to pull away a little bit.
I want to go back to that lacrosse athlete development model you were talking about, Melissa. You know, when we talked about player safety, it had me having visions flashing back to even my years in the Pro Indoor League. I was always so impressed, the emphasis that's always put on safety, whether it's the Pro Indoor League, the Pro Outdoor League, whether it's the youth level. And so for the lacrosse athlete development model to recognize that when you're a youth lacrosse player, you can't automatically be expected to play under the same rules at the same level as the pros. And so it's a great visionary program, as I said, in my opinion, by U.S. Lacrosse to develop this, to say we need to meet them where they are.
Right, the emphasis on where is the child developmentally, you know, physically, cognitively. Most people don't know that young people don't develop full peripheral vision until they're in their teens, and yet you're expecting them to play at a level you know, sort of outside of their developmental capabilities. So we've put a lot of thought and effort into this, a lot of research behind it. We want kids to stay in the game, and they tend to stay in the game when they have fun and they're not getting hurt.
And that's Kylie Ohlmiller. Ohlmiller being checked closely, and nice job defensively by the Gators. Watch out, an errant stick.
Speaking of.
Went up high. And for Florida, that's Cara Trombetta. She's all right, thanks to the protective eyewear.
Yep, so Ohlmiller will go think about that for 2 minutes on the sideline. And Florida should be man up here. Woman up, I guess.
And so here they go. That's Sammy Burgess, and she's being checked there by Kristen Carr, but carries on, tries a shot, and no. Gussie Johns able to get back in time.
It's very enticing to see the goalie outside of the goal and think I'll just throw it towards the goal. Sometimes that works, but
yeah,
you know,
again, and that, you know, that's a situation where when you are a player up due to a shorthanded situation for the opponent, you get a little too excited when you already have the advantage. You don't need to throw it at that open net right now, because it is still, at least in that particular instance, 50-50. Probably a better chance of settling things down, waiting for your teammates to catch up.
Right. I think given that opportunity again, Sammy probably make a different choice there. She's a good senior leader for this team. Doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes on the field. So.
In the meantime, it's Becca Block picking up the ground ball for Team USA and sends a pass up near midfield. Megan Dowdy. Dowdy is chased by Madison Cattell, as Florida starting to see one or two new faces on the field for them. Team USA in possession right now. And that's Sarah Bullard. Bullard knows that her team is down a player, not in any real hurry. It's Becca Block carries on. Block, she's going to stretch this out, just use the clock.
Yep. Good effort here just to run down the last few seconds of this penalty, get them back even, and then you'll probably see them start up with their offense again.
And so Brooke Griffin has it on the far side. Griffin passed down low, and Hicklin was able to break that up. And as a result, possession will go over to Florida. 15-10, Team USA in the lead with just over 17 minutes left here in the second half. Hicklin pushes that one up ahead, and UF starts out of their own end.
Yep, going to get caught on the sideline here. Again, ran sort of right into that ride, a turnover there for Florida.
And an unfortunate development for the Gators, watching not only the advantage tick away after USA had gone down a player, but then to turn the ball over that way. However, they catch a break here as play resumes, and the Gators head back down the other way. On the far side with it now, Shayna Pareka, and they score, so Florida converts and cuts it to 15-11. And so still not out of this game completely. It has been quite some time since the game was tied, or since we saw the Gators in the lead, but they're not going to go down without a fight. And if you just joined our broadcast, we mentioned that Florida's next game will be their first game of the regular season, February 11th, up in Gainesville at home against North Carolina, before the Scottish national team comes in for an exhibition on the 15th. And then Southern California coming here to the Sunshine State for a game on February 24th against UF before the Gators head out on a 3-game road trip. And in the meantime, here following that 11th Gators goal, we're set for the next draw. And for Florida, Brianna Harris out there to do the honors. And a ground ball, let's see. They dig at it, and finally the Gators come away with it. Madison Cattell. Her pass connects with Sammy Burgess right in front, and a save made, a rebound, and it's still loose. They chase it down, and Team USA recovers. Megan Dowdy able to come away with it and leaves it for her goaltender, Johns.
Good heads-up play there by Dowdy to get on that ground ball. Kind of skirted away from Johns a little bit, and she was able to find it.
And now a pass here on the near side. Courtney Waite, UNC product.
Courtney Waite, another surprise to this roster, coming out of just an incredible fall weekend. So nice to see her out here on the field now.
And speaking of a fall weekend, Melissa, the Fall Classic was a part of this whole timeline of what's going towards the eventual final makeup of the women's team. A 2-day event here this weekend. The Fall Classic was a 2-day event previously that was held
in October. It was a great weekend. We had Team England, Canada, Australia, and the U.S. for the women, plus University of North Carolina. Just some great competition, a great opportunity to see some great women's lacrosse talent. The men there also. It's been an event we've loved to host. This is the first year we've had several international teams attend. Looking forward to doing it again next year.
Here come the Gators again. And Cattell with a pass in front and a whistle. Pass intended for Lindsay Ronbeck.
I don't know if you ever can call something a good foul, but that was a smart foul there by Dowdy. Certainly don't want to let Ronbeck catch the ball in the middle alone, so at least she gives Gussie Johns a better shot at this.
And Ronbeck scores! So Lindsay Ronbeck converts with 14-18 to go here in the second half, and these Gators just will not go away. And here you see the replay of the Ronbeck goal, and she knew where she was going right from the minute that the whistle blew. And there you see her beating Gussie Johns. In case you just joined us, Liz Hogan started this game in goal for Team USA. Gussie Johns took over and has remained between the pipes ever since. And talking about Southern California, and Gussie Johns is a USC gal. And so now we have the draw following that 12th Florida goal.
Lots of college teams represented out here for Team USA. I know we talked before briefly about U.S. Lacrosse Convention. Again, huge educational event, our largest, January 20th through the 22nd in Baltimore. We expect about 7,000 people to attend, and in addition, some of the speakers that will be featured, head coach of this Team USA, Ricky Freed, Missy Darty, Kathy Reese from the University of Maryland, Janine Tucker, men's game speakers, Nick Myers from Ohio State, Sean Nadalin from Towson, and Mike Daly, new head coach at Brown, just a few
Here's
of them.
another opportunity for Florida, and the save made there by Johns. And Florida a little bit more aggressive now, trailing by 3 goals with just under 14 minutes to play, but back the other way comes Team USA, Brooke Griffin. Griffin, a pass, connects, looking. That was Tumolo who sent the pass up top, and now here's Gilroy. Shannon Gilroy returns it to Kelly Rabel. There's a look in front, they score. Wow.
That is a great shot by Brooke Griffin. Looks like she may have gotten fouled after that shot, but no call on that one. Goal will stand.
And from the angle that we're at, I hesitated because it almost appeared as though it might have hit the side of the net. But in fact, she gets the goal, does Brooke Griffin. And so Team USA into a 16-12 lead. Did you see the replay here? And the pass in from Kelly Rabel. And then Griffin goes to work and gets that one past Haley Hicklin.
We did mention that this is the final weekend of selections for Team USA. They will pick their World Cup roster, that World Cup being held July 12th through the 22nd in Manchester, England.
Yeah, not a tough trip to make, you know, for some of the girls that aren't from this part of the country. First they get to come to Florida, and then, oh gee, now we have to go to England. Breaking my heart, Coach, with these road trips. Of course, the England trip won't be until June for training camp, but that will be the next on-field activity for Team USA following this weekend. I want to remind the viewers that we will be with you again tomorrow for live streams of the women's team taking on Notre Dame, and then the men's team also taking on Notre Dame. Hope you'll join us to watch both of those games here tomorrow. USA scores again. And 17-12 now, USA in the lead and starting to pull away.
You still have almost 13 minutes left in this game, and there's 29 goals between these two teams. I'm not certain that I am envious of the goalkeepers in this situation.
Well, and it does make you wonder if there's any chance of, look at that, they're making me look good. I was going to say any more goaltending changes, and lo and behold, Liz Hogan is going to come back in the goal for Team USA. She was the starter and had been replaced by Gussie Johns, and now Hogan's going to see activity after all again.
Yeah, I think that was Ricky Freed made that clear in the beginning that they would split time between the halves. So not surprising to see Liz Hogan come back in the game. Hoping she does good work here for Team USA.
And for Florida, only one other goaltender on the roster. And right now, we have the draw following the 17th USA goal.
Yeah.
And that's Ali Pavanelli out there for Florida, and controlled and given back to Caroline Benitez. Benitez sends it up ahead. Here come the Gators. Fitzgerald, her pass to Pavanelli. Right in front, here's a good look, and she scores! That's Molly Stevens, and welcomes Liz Hogan back to the game by immediately depositing that one behind her. And it's, again, still sounding like a Florida Gators football score. It's 17-13 now. USA leads with 12:27 to go here in the second half.
Yeah, you had mentioned Florida's roster with just 2 goalies on it, but I would assume that if Haley Hicklin continues to play the way she's playing, there's not going to be much need for a second. She's got 11 saves already. That's a tremendous effort against this team.
Actually, I'm going to correct myself. There are 3 goaltenders on the Florida roster. The other 2 goaltenders are Olivia Cole, a junior, and Kenzel Cattell, who is a freshman. And now we have the draw here with Ali Pavanelli for Florida, and who's going against Ali Carey. This is USA in possession, and a ground ball recovered by the Gators. Sent up ahead on the far side and across midfield, a dangerous pass, but able to collect it. The Gators quickly in over the USA line. And the shot, they score! Molly Stevens again. And UF cuts the Team USA lead to 3 goals at 17-14. And still a lot of lacrosse left to be played here.
Yep, great ball movement there from Florida.
Florida goal scored by 17, Molly Stevens, assisted by 11.
I should say, Florida not only phenomenal on the field, but Nick, the team videographer. We have to give a shout out to Nick for his tremendous work on the camera today.
And there you see from our crew a replay of the Florida goal. And a nice job initially to control the pass coming in, Molly Stevens, and then finishing with the goal, beating Liz Hogan. And you're starting to see the importance of the draw controls as we talked about earlier and the possessions that result from them, although this one goes back to USA. On the far side is Alice Mercer. Mercer, Florida player, goes down, play carries on. Daniela Trasco, now they send it up ahead. Brooke Griffin quickly now in behind the Florida net.
Yeah, again, it's still looking for Team USA, a player to kind of take over here and settle everything down. Haven't quite seen that happen yet. So it'll be interesting to see the next 3 or 4 minutes what happens.
Kayla Trainer has it in behind the Florida net. She sends it up top. Breaking now, Allie Carey. Carey, a pass inside. Gilroy hit the goalpost, and the rebound deflects, and chasing it down is Daniela Trasco. And here comes Team USA. Up top is Kelly Rabel.
Unlucky for Gilroy there. Was a great shot.
The Gators, here's a turnover. They come back the other way. Florida at the midfield stripe, sending it up ahead. Here's Sammy Burgess. Burgess wide open, and she scores! Great play by Lindsay Ronbeck, and a great passing play. And Ronbeck closes the gap. It's now 17-15. And as I mentioned, plenty of lacrosse left to be played. Stay tuned, because the Gators are not done. And here you see the replay. Great all-around effort. And it started right there, and then pass that connects, and just enough patience by Lindsay Ronbeck waiting for Hogan to commit, and then putting that in behind her. As Pavanelli goes out there for Florida now for this draw against Taylor Cummings of Team USA. Taylor Cummings, a Maryland product. And as long as we're giving out thanks, my thanks to Dustin from the Florida information staff. Some great help on our broadcast here this afternoon, providing some good insight into the Gators program. And there's the draw as play resumes, and the Florida, no. It looked as though Carly Marsh.
She made a great play on the ball there. Unfortunately, her teammate set an illegal screen, which is too bad because that was a great play from her. A little bit unlucky there.
Yeah, good heads up, good hustle, but here comes Team USA back the other way. A pass quickly now, and in front, ground ball, and the Gators able to pick that one up. And watch out, they need to retreat and send this back to Hicklin. They'll try the near side. Here come the Gators. Molly Stevens, and with a wide open net, and she scores, does Sammy Burgess. I almost thought she was going to wait too long, have it come back to haunt her, but Burgess able to beat Liz Hogan. And how about these Florida Gators trailing by just 1 now? It's 17-16.
Yeah, again, you've seen the breakdown of the Team USA ride just a little bit, and you make one mistake or one person gets behind you, and it's lights out for Team USA. I would not be surprised to see Coach Freed call timeout.
I was just going to ask you. You know, I'm waiting for that to happen, and now it does officially.
Again, Mercer caught just a little bit off on that play. If you watch the replay there, just got caught a little bit behind her player. And it's just such a small margin of error on that ride.
Well, and so the Gators very pleased, obviously, cutting the gap to 1 and knowing that they are the reason why Coach Freed had to call this timeout to talk things over with the ladies, as there's just over 10 minutes to go here in the second half. And Team USA's biggest lead of this game has been 5, and now here it is reduced to just 1. So, this is kind of one of those classic, the next goal will be hugely important regardless of who gets it.
There's a lot of time left in this game, still 10 minutes. I think that's probably what Ricky Freed may be saying. I'm sure he has some other choice words for his team, but I think the theme here is you got a lot of time left in this game. Let's settle down a little bit and do what we do well. For Mandy O'Leary, I imagine she's saying just keep doing a lot of the same. They're really playing well. Hicklin's obviously playing very well in the goal for them, but they've been able to get the draw. They've been able to get some easy shots in transition.
Well, and this is why I'm the broadcaster and not the coach, but if I was Coach O'Leary, I'd be saying, we have them on their heels. Let's go out there and let's score right now.
Absolutely.
They just called a timeout. Nothing's going to hurt them more than if we come out and score immediately after they just called a timeout, because we have them on their heels.
Coach O'Leary said something interesting to me before the game. She said they practiced a little bit this week with 23-second possessions. So once they crossed into the restraining line, she gave them 23 seconds because she said that's about how much time you get when you play Team USA to make a decision.
Wow. That's some good scouting on Florida's part to know that, to have that stat available, to have that kind of timing available.
She just mentioned that it never has worked out well for them to try to hold the ball too much, that the pressure from Team USA is just too great, and so she encouraged her kids to just take less time, fire some shots, get into their offense more quickly, and it seems to be working for them.
And to some extent, it's a little bit of a mirror of what Team USA does, because Team USA does not waste time with their possessions. They're not a perimeter offense that really works the ball around looking for the prettiest shot or for everything to be all right in a row. They are very aggressive with their attack, and so it's almost, let's give them a taste of their own medicine. Beat them at their game. So for Team USA, following that timeout, Taylor Cummings out there against Allie Pavanelli on this draw.
Pavanelli's had some success on the draw. She's taken the last few.
And obviously, she and her coach hope that she can continue. The momentum has hugely shifted to the Gators. And let's see who does get that next important goal, as it's a ground ball, and this one will be picked up by the Gators. Quickly they come. Here's an opportunity. They score very quickly, and Shayna Pareka celebrating. And just they're making me look good. I said if I'm the coach, I'm telling them let's go out there and let's score right now, and that's exactly what they did. We are tied at 17.
Yeah, really no chance for Liz Hogan there. Right off the draw, 3v1. I don't know if we're going to get a replay, but immediately 3 players for Florida break towards the goal. There's really no chance for the defense here.
And just everything was right for Florida, controlling the draw, then the great pass, and then Shayna Pareka finishing. Now the problem here is you can't get too high if you're Florida. All you did is tie it, and there's still a lot of lacrosse left, 9:53, so continue to do the things that you've been doing right for the last few minutes.
A lot of time left. Been watching Coach O'Leary on the sideline, haven't seen her get too excited. She knows there's a lot of time left in this game, but she has to be pleased with what she's seeing.
And so sticking with what's working, Pavanelli out there on this draw for the Gators. And let's see, ground ball and a whistle. They're going to give possession to Team USA.
Got a foul there by Florida, going to give possession to Team USA.
And this will be Marie McCool. McCool to her left, being chased by Pavanelli. McCool quickly to the far side and gives it up in favor of Courtney Fortunato to Taylor Cummings. Cummings being watched closely, pass down into the corner. Alyssa Murray. Murray back up top. McCool. McCool. And that one's going to roll out of play. And possession
to Team USA there. Again, the close, see there that the official closest to the ball did not have the best angle. She looked up toward the sideline, the team bench for Team USA. The other official was there, made the determination. Again, it's the player closest when the ball goes out of bounds.
And now on the restart, Taylor Cummings connects with Zimmerman. Zimmerman a pass over to Kayla Trainer. Trainer is going to have to send it in behind the net, but Tumalo comes out from behind the net. She's being watched closely and will send a pass instead to Zimmerman. Laura Zimmerman switches hands and breaks in and goes all the way past the net. And now Team USA not getting a shot off as quickly as we've been seeing.
No, much more concentrated effort from the Florida defense. I think that was Benitez and Puller really pushed everybody out. That's a great hustle play by Florida there to recover this ball here on the end line.
Yeah,
Smart heads-up play by the defense.
Florida's going to have possession here as we have exactly 8 minutes left, and they will have possession with the game tied. So an opportunity for them to finally retake the lead. It has been ages since the Gators had the lead, and now it starts with this breakout that begins in the person of Cara Trombetta. And watch out, the ball's on the ground and picked up by Team USA. So they dodge a bullet and come back quickly into the Florida end. They've got a 2-on-1. There's a pass in front, and Hicklin makes the save. A key play for the Gators, although Team USA able to control the rebound. And so they'll work it again.
Incredible save there by Hicklin. She got faked out a little bit, able to recover. That shows incredibly quick hands.
And now they score. Team USA, Taylor Cummings. And so a bit of a sigh of relief for Coach Freed and Team USA as they regain the lead. It's 18-17 with 7:11 to go here in the second half.
Really heads-up play, too, there by Taylor Cummings. Initially, great save by Hicklin, but then you'll see Taylor Cummings pay enough attention here to where this rebound was coming from to be able to grab it. So good heads-up play there. Hicklin's got nothing to be upset about there, though.
And the stadium lights have come on here.
It's so pretty down here. You forget that it's actually still winter.
And we are still at a frigid 78 degrees, which was our game time temperature, I believe, at face-off, at the game's opening draw. And now, Shannon Gilroy, as we're seeing a little bit of a personnel change for UF, it's going to be Brianna Harris, freshman, out there for an important draw. So, to some extent, Coach O'Leary showing some confidence in a youngster to put her out in this key situation.
Coach has nothing to lose here. She, I would think that she'd try to play as many players as she can, see what she's got on her bench. She obviously has some significant talent on the field, so good to see her get some of those other players some chances.
Good hustle there by Lindsay Ronbeck. And now gets herself out of traffic. And a pass up ahead, caught there by Alex Puller. Puller a pass, and down low, no shot. So Burgess retreats and needs help and gets it. Here's Pareka, and that one rolls out of play, and this will still be Florida ball. So the Gators with some pressure there as Sammy Burgess will put this one back into play as the clock continues to run with 6:25 to go. And here's Burgess being watched by Kristen Carr. Burgess has some room and scores!
And not a great angle there for a defensive double team.
Well, how about that? The Gators tie it right back up at 18. And Sammy Burgess in the right place at the right time, and Liz Hogan was not. And as a result, this one could go down to the proverbial WIRE. And again, it all started Brianna Harris. I mentioned the freshman being out there for the draw against Gilroy, and that's the case as we see again here now. And let's not overlook the hustle by Ronbeck. Lindsay Ronbeck was in some heavy traffic on the far sideline in front of her own sideline. And at the end of the day, Gators able to convert, and so we have ourselves in an 18-all game.
Yeah, surprised not to see Ricky Freed go back to Allie Carey. She seemed to have the most success on the draw out of the three between Taylor Cummings and Gilroy and Carey.
This is Kelly Rabel. Rabel being chased by Caroline Benitez, and they cause a ground ball and a turnover. And hold on, we have a whistle.
The official going to stop the time here just to check on Kelly Rabel, make sure she's okay, and then they'll restart play.
Kelly Rabel still shaking it off. The official may not even notice that, but she seems all right. And hold on. The officials over on the far sideline at the scores table. Now we're going to get Rabel coming out, and she'll be replaced by Allie Carey, whose name you just mentioned. And hold on. Still not set. And finally, it looks like we're ready, and now play resumes. And here comes Florida, looking to get the lead. Just under 5.5 to go. Here's a pass, and right in front, they score! Sammy Burgess. And how do you like that? The Florida Gators have taken the lead 19-18.
Florida's been able to, I think, exploit a little bit of slow defensive recovery for Team USA. That backside corner, the corner closest to us, seems to be open an awful lot.
And to their credit, I feel like Florida has found an extra gear, that they've stored up some energy, and this is where conditioning becomes such an important part of the game, is in these late stages, especially in a close game like this where you need all your energy, and Florida seems to have found it. And so now, Molly Stevens out there for this draw for the Gators against Shannon Gilroy. So also kind of confusing Team USA with a few different looks. A different player out there, probably 3 different players that we've seen taking draws for Florida here in the second half. And I'll tell you, the Gators sideline is all kinds of pumped up.
They should be. They're playing a tremendous game against some of the best players in the world, so they should be excited.
Oh, and an errant play there. Maddie Hall, and Team USA able to come up with it. And here's an opportunity, a great save made there by Hicklin. And Florida quickly back the other way, going for the long outlet pass that does connect. And this is Shayna Pareka. And a quick shot, and Hogan able to get a piece of that one.
That's a good save by Hogan there. Give Team USA a breather for a second. A great look there for Team USA. Again, Hicklin with a huge save.
Absolutely, and USA is going to come down with another attempt against her, as pushing forward is Allie Carey.
And looks like number 10, Carly Marsh, has broken a stick, so she'll go to the sideline to get a second one.
Miller flips it down into the corner. And now the USA offense taking its time. Alyssa Murray with it. Murray all the way up top. It's Katie Schwartzman. Schwartzman leaves it there for Zimmerman. Zimmerman to Miller, and hold on, we have a whistle.
Yeah, we're going to get a card here. You know, one of the things that you have to be really careful about, though, is sort of the cross-check up around the shoulder and the neck area. Looks like Miller might have dipped a little bit, but Florida player just caught her up by the neck, and that's pretty much going to be an automatic card.
Yeah, very untimely, needless to say. Not that there's ever a good time, but certainly not now. And so Miller with a golden opportunity here, and she scores.
Yep. A little bit unlucky there for Maddie Hall, defender for Florida. I think her intention was to keep her stick down low, but again, Team USA player smart to dip her shoulder a little bit and draw that foul.
And here's the replay on the goal by Miller.
Good tuck, great shot, way to get the defender on her back. And again, Team USA will remain man up. There is no release on the goal.
But how about the game that Haley Hicklin has played? I mean, you know, to give up 19 goals and still have to be singled out for the great plays. She has what has kept her team in this game.
She's at 13 saves now, I think, for the day. I mean, you add 13 to 19, this is a different story. So she's been the difference for Florida, and really the difference in the game.
And keep in mind that USA with the advantage here, as Florida still a player short. And so Molly Stevens out there for this draw, and it's controlled by Taylor Cummings. And quickly, here comes USA again. And going down to the ground was Murray, and a ground ball opportunity. Can Florida recover? They do, but there's a whistle.
Yep, foul there on, looks like Alex Puller may have caught Tumalo on a push. So a little bit of a lucky break there for Team USA to get this possession back.
And this all comes with the clock running, and for all intents and purposes, 3 minutes left in a 19-19 game. And a whistle, as it looked like Laura Zimmerman was about to pull the trigger. We haven't seen too many long shots today. Most everything has been in close.
Everything about that was deliberate from Zimmerman. She's looking to draw that shooting space foul that we talked about before. Florida plays a backer zone defense, so they sort of always have a floater in the middle. And when you see that floater, the best thing to do is fake like you're going to shoot, because you're going to get that call.
And now quickly on the restart, and right in front, and a shot misses off the stick of Courtney Fortunato, but USA collects the rebound, and they're in possession here, and a shot, they score!
Again, talked about it a little earlier. She didn't score the goal there, but Michelle Tumalo is one of those players that can take control of the pace of the game. She draws everybody's attention, and she did it there.
Unassisted, 2:15 remaining second half.
So just 2:15 to go, and Team USA in the lead.
You watch most, the ball goes behind. Everybody's looking at Tumalo. You know, they've got eyeballs on her. She finds a player up top. Good dodge, smart play.
And good heads-up play there by McCool to find her spot in the slot right in front of Hicklin, and beating her for Team USA's 20th goal, and has them in a 1-goal lead in what has been a very, very interesting afternoon of lacrosse, for a game that one or two times seemed like it was about to be broken open by Team USA. I mentioned they've had leads as big as 5, and the Gators have just scratched and clawed all afternoon and refused to die. And here they are with just over 2 minutes left in the game and trailing only by 1.
I imagine that's exactly what a little bit of what Mandy O'Leary is saying in that huddle to them, which is, don't get away from this. Let's not get away from what we've been doing. We're down 1 goal now. There's still plenty of time on the clock. We need to get this draw and do what we've been doing all day.
Yeah, and it's really almost been a tale of two halves, because the first half of this game was for all intents and purposes Team USA's half, and this second half has definitely gotten the attention of everyone who's watching as it relates to Florida, and the way they have said, we are going to do everything we can to come out of this stadium with a W this afternoon. And so we're going to see freshman Brianna Harris back out there again. And Harris will go against Taylor Cummings.
Got to be awfully daunting for a freshman to line up against the 3-time Tewaaraton Award winner.
Well, and to the credit of Brianna Harris, she's taken a few of these draws, as I've been mentioning, following some of these goals. And this is the way that you're going to learn. This is the way that you're going to get the experience, and what better way?
Absolutely. It's a good risk and a great decision by Mandy O'Leary to throw her freshman in there and say, let's see what you can do.
And the more of these she wins, then during the regular season, the coach can tell her, wait a minute, think back to that USA game and the draws that you were controlling then. You can do this today. And wow, going down hard to the field there on the far side for Florida, Ali Pavanelli bounces up, and she'll put the ball back into play, crossing midfield, just inside 2 minutes to play now. 20-19, USA in the lead.
And that's exactly what Mandy O'Leary wanted to see happen. Florida come away with the draw, got less than 2 minutes to play. They can take their time on a possession here. I'd be surprised to see them try to rush anything, but again, we'll see what the Team USA defense lets them have.
Pavanelli caught an errant stick there from Marie McCool, and now quickly on the restart, Pavanelli sends a pass back, and now a pass here on the near side for Alex Puller, and there's one that's going to go wide and out of play. 1:28 left here. Florida still in possession as Lindsay Ronbeck puts it back in. Ronbeck on the far side. Ronbeck surveying the offensive zone, tries to get a step. Defender won't bite on it, and now she does. And Ronbeck being watched too closely by Courtney Waite. Ronbeck still with it, takes a shot, a save made by Hogan. And Team USA in possession. Hogan made the save and, as importantly, controlled the rebound. And 1 minute left.
That's a big save there by Hogan at a big time. Less than a minute left. Hopefully that'll secure things for her. Good to see her make that save there.
Oh, and an errant pass there, knocked down, and the Gators able to come away with it. And a whistle. Coming with 41 seconds left, it's still going to be Florida ball. As tension mounts here in the final minute of the game, and a shot and a goal, but there was a whistle. Will it count? Does the goal stand?
No, it will not. So like I was mentioning before, some calls they'll hold the whistle if there's an offensive possession. Shooting space is not one of them. You're putting yourself in direct line of a shot. It's an immediate whistle, so no goal there, but she will get an 8-meter at a very advantageous spot.
And now on the restart, there's a shot and goes out of play. And 33 seconds left now.
Great hustle behind the goal from Schwartzman to back up the goal. Florida player fell asleep just a little bit.
So Schwartzman gives it to Zimmerman. And this was not routine as we saw in the last attempt. And Florida will obviously be a little more aggressive, and indeed a push called there.
Not a bad foul, stops the clock, gives them a shot.
Now down into the far corner. Team USA does not need to shoot. There's only 12 seconds left. They're just going to try to run the clock out, working the perimeter. 6 seconds. And Team USA is going to win this one in dramatic fashion as the game ends with a final score of Team USA 20 and the University of Florida 19. A tremendous way to start this weekend. This USA Spring Premier Tournament, which, as we mentioned, will continue. These two teams will have another game this afternoon, which we will not have here on live streaming, but we do invite you to join us back here tomorrow for Team USA and Notre Dame, a women's game and a men's game. Glad to have called this one for you. I'm Bruce Wozniak. Thank you to Melissa Coyne. Wonderful afternoon of lacrosse here between Team USA and the University of Florida. Thank you for watching from the IMG Academy in Bradenton.